Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are James Barrow, a master's student. His specialist subject is the Isles of Scilly. Alex Grindley, a programme support officer whose subject is the films of Derek Jarman. Sundar Gopal, a GP. He'll be answering questions on the 1980s pop group Wham, and Annabelle Lloyd, a languages tutor. Her subject, the Italian sculptor and architect Gian Lorenzo Bernini. On offer tonight, a place in the semi-finals for the contender best able to battle several dragons. The pressure, their nerves, and the forbidding atmosphere of sitting in the famous black chair. Who among our merry band is St. George and will leave this arena victorious with the dragons slayed? We'll find out after 2 minutes on their specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Good luck to one and all. So, can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
James Barrow.
Your occupation?
I'm a master's student.
And your specialist subject?
The Isles of Scilly.
The geography and history of the Isles of Scilly off the southwest coast of England. In 2 minutes. Let's go. Bad Place Hill, a cove named Hell Bay, and a beach called Rushy Bay are features of interest on which island?
Briar.
Yes, what's the name of the Bronze Age entrance grave or burial chamber on the northwest of St. Mary's on the crest of Hallangy Down?
Bant Khan.
Yes, which island is the main setting for the 19th century novel Armorel of Lyonesse by Walter Besant, and became uninhabited when its remaining residents were relocated in 1855?
Samson.
Yes, what name is given to the type of six-oared rowing boat traditionally used to help incoming ships navigate the waters around the Isles of Scilly, which are now used in racing, including for the World Championships held in May?
Gigs.
Yes, a memorial plaque near Porthhellick Beach on St. Mary's marks the place where which English Navy admiral was washed ashore in 1707 after his fleet was wrecked on the Western Rocks?
Cloudsley Shovel.
Yes, what was the name of the steward appointed by the Godolphin family who built the red and white Daymark or beacon on St. Martin's around 1683 to aid ship navigation?
Hicks.
No, Thomas Eakins. Which ocean liner was en route from New York to Plymouth when it ran into thick fog off the coast of the Isles of Scilly in May 1875 and was wrecked after it struck the Ritaria ledges?
The Thomas W. Lawson.
No, SS Schiller. What was the name of the Dutch admiral who declared war on the Isles of Scilly in 1651 after royalist privateers from the islands had attacked Dutch ships?
Martin Tromp.
Yes. What lighthouse, built in 1858, marks a rock ledge 4 miles west of the Isles of Scilly and was maintained by keepers for more than 130 years?
Bishop Rock.
Yes. What's the name of the Iron Age cliff castle at Salakey Down on the southeast coast of St. Mary's, which has the remains of a Second World War firing target on its outer wall?
Porthcressa.
No, Giant's Castle. What museum in Tresco Abbey Garden houses a collection of figureheads from shipwrecks around the Isles of Scilly?
Valhalla Museum.
Yes, on which uninhabited island are the remains of Study Saw Finish? On which uninhabited island are the remains of an isolation hospital known locally as Pest House that was built in the 18th century to quarantine ship passengers and crews suspected of carrying disease?
St. Helens.
It was St. Helens. James, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 9 points. And our next contender, please. Your name?
Alex Grindley.
Your occupation?
Programme support officer.
And your specialist subject?
The films of Derek Jarman.
The feature films of the British director, also well known as a writer, designer and gay rights activist. In 2 minutes. Let's go. In Derek Jarman's debut feature film, the 1976 historical drama Sebastian, the dialogue is spoken entirely in which language?
Latin.
Yes, in Jubilee, after she's declared to be England's entry for the Eurovision Song Contest, the anarchist, known as Amil, mimes to what song?
Rule Britannia.
Yes, the soundtrack of The Angelic Conversation comprises the music of Benjamin Britten and the experimental music group Coil, as well as a selection of Shakespeare sonnets read by which actress?
Judi Dench.
Yes, in Jarman's The Tempest, when the exiled Miranda, played by Toya Wilcox, delivers the speech which begins, "Honour Rich's marriage blessing." She's standing on what large children's toy?
Rocking Horse.
Yes, in a lengthy black and white sequence in Jarman's 1987 film, The Last of England, a naked man in a scrapyard is depicted eating what vegetable, raw and whole?
Potato?
No, cauliflower. In Caravaggio, Jarman's biography of the Baroque painter, what's the name of the character played by Tilda Swinton, a street dweller who becomes a model for the artist?
Lena.
Yes, in The Garden, a chorus of children are heard singing London's Burning while a young boy picks up what creature from a leaf and places it on his face?
A millipede.
No, a snail. In Jarman's adaptation of Christopher Marlowe's play Edward II, before the king declares his lover, Gaveston, to be the king and lord of man, he bestows on him the title of Earl of which historic English county?
Sussex.
No, Cornwall. In Wittgenstein, when the young Ludwig is sitting in a cinema, the older Ludwig is heard explaining that he had two favourite actresses, Carmen Miranda and who else?
Audrey Hepburn.
No, Betty Hutton. In Jarman's War Requiem, Wilfred Owen is first seen lying dead on an altar, though soon after, he's alive, sitting in front of the altar, reading the works of which other poet?
Keats.
Yes, at the celebration of the marriage of Miranda and Prince Ferdinand in The Tempest, the singer and actress Elizabeth Welch performs what song to a room full of adoring sailors?
Stormy Weather.
Yes, Jarman's final film, Blue, which comprises a single 74-minute shot, start it or finish, a single 74-minute shot of a blue background over which he narrates his thoughts on life and his imminent death, is dedicated to all true lovers and to his longtime companion, referred to by what two initials?
HB.
It is HB. So, Alex, at the end of that round, no passes, you've got 8 points. And our next contender, please. Your name,
Sundar Gopal,
your occupation,
GP,
and your specialist subject.
Wham.
The chart-topping 1980s duo comprising George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley in 2 minutes. Let's go. Michael and Ridgeley met at Bushy Meads Comprehensive School, where they joined others to form their first group in 1979, a ska band with what name?
The Executives.
Yes, Michael and Ridgeley's song Wham Rap, Enjoy What You Do, was inspired by a chant they'd made up while dancing to which hip-hop track by the Sugar Hill Gang at Bogart's nightclub in South Harrow?
Pass.
In March 1982, Wham signed their first recording contract with which executive who'd worked with Soft Cell and ABC and recently established a record label, Innovision?
Mark Dean.
Yes, what song did Wham perform on their first appearance on Top of the Pops in 1982, dancing around the stage in turned-up jeans and espadrilles?
Wham Rap.
No, Young Guns, Go For It. The group's debut concert tour was sponsored by which sportswear company who produced a notable very short shorts worn by Michael and Ridgeley?
Filer.
Yes, the lyrical inspiration for what 1984 Wham song originated from a scribbled note that Ridgeley had left for his parents?
Wake Me Up Before You Go, Go.
Yes, Wham's big tour took the band as far as Australia, but it began in December 1984 in what Ridgeley described as slightly less exotic surroundings at an ice rink in which town in northeast England?
Skegness.
No, Whitley Bay. What's the name of the American guitarist who became the regular bass player in Wham's backing band and was responsible for the distinctive rhythmic bass line on the song Club Tropicana?
Pass.
In 1985, which song, described by Ridgeley as a wry observation of married life, became the duo's third consecutive US #1 single?
Club Tropicana.
No, Everything She Wants. The video for Wham's perennial festive hit, Last Christmas, was filmed in which Swiss ski village?
Saas-Fee.
Yes. What song did Michael perform to Elton John's piano accompaniment during the Live Aid concert in 1985, with Ridgeley on stage providing backing vocals?
Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
It was Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Sundar, you had 2 passes. The name of the American guitarist who played that distinctive bass line on Club Tropicana, Dion Estes. And Michael and Ridgeley's song Wham Rap was inspired by a chant they'd made up while dancing to Rapper's Delight. So at the end of that round, Sundar, you've got 6 points. And our final contender, please.
Annabel Lloyd.
Your occupation
Languages tutor.
and your specialist subject.
Gian Lorenzo Bernini.
The Baroque sculptor, architect and painter born in Naples in 1598. In 2 minutes, let's go. What honorific Italian title was bestowed on Gian Lorenzo Bernini by Pope Gregory XV in 1621 as a reward for his work on a series of portrait busts of the pontiff?
Order of the Christ.
No, Il Cavaliere.
Oh.
What was the name of the wife of one of Bernini's fellow sculptors with whom he began a scandalous affair in 1636?
Constanza Bonarelli.
Yes, Bernini's celebrated sculpture, St. Teresa in Ecstasy, was commissioned by Cardinal Federico Cornaro around 1647 for his family chapel in which church in Rome?
Santa Maria, La Vittoria.
Yes, Santa Maria della Vittoria. Which Tuscan sculptor from Carrara assisted Bernini in his work on the Metamorphoses depicted in Apollo and Daphne?
Finelli.
Yes, Giuliano Finelli. After moving out of the family home in 1642, Bernini lived and worked until his death in 1680 in a building purchased from the Marchesa Fulvianaro on which street in Rome?
Via della Mercede.
Yes, in 1630, Pope Urban VIII's nephew, Cardinal Francesco Barberini, appointed Bernini as the Principe, or director of which prestigious professional association of artists?
The Golden Book.
No, the Accademia di San Luca. Bernini gave the task of creating the sculpture of Saint Veronica in St. Peter's Basilica to which fellow artist?
Da Cortona.
No, Francesco Mocchi. A drawing by Bernini in the Royal Collection at Windsor Castle depicts what ornamental item which he designed around 1656 for Christina, the former Queen of Sweden, in which Kronos, the god of time, is portrayed lifting drapery to reveal truth.
Truth revealed by time.
No,
No.
it's a mirror.
Oh, okay.
It's a mirror. Annabelle, at the end of that round, you had no passes. You've got 4 points.
4 points, oh dear. Oh dear.
At the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 4 points is Annabelle. In 3rd place with 6 points is Sunda. In 2nd place with 8 points is Alex. And in 1st place with 9 points, it's James. So now the general knowledge round. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account. And the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Annabelle to join us again, please. Annabelle, you start with 4 points. There is plenty of time to catch up because you've got 2.5 minutes now on general knowledge. Here we go. On a traffic sign in the UK, a white uppercase letter P on a blue background stands for what word?
Parking.
Yes, what form of musical entertainment has a name that's the plural of the Latin word opus, meaning work?
Opera.
Yes, what's the title of the 1974 debut novel by the horror writer James Herbert?
The Rats.
Yes, monozygotic twins which develop from a single fertilized egg are more commonly described using what word because they share the same genetic material?
Identical twins.
Yes, the fast-growing pungent root vegetable with the scientific name Raphanus sativus, often eaten raw in salads, is usually known as the common what?
Celery.
No, radish. A piece of music entitled Barrack Green, a maypole dance composed by Arthur Wood, is the theme tune to what long-running radio soap?
The Archers.
Yes, in which seaside town in northeast England is Peasholm Park, noted for its boating lake where naval battles with replica ships are reenacted during the summer months?
Whitby.
No, Scarborough. The song Respect, which was popularised by Aretha Franklin in 1967, was originally written by which other singer?
James Brown.
No, Otis Redding. The Indian city of Varanasi, an important site of pilgrimage for Hindus, stands on the banks of which major river?
Ganges.
Yes. What's the name of the chemist who, in 1991, became the first British person to travel in space when she spent 8 days orbiting the Earth?
Webb.
No, Helen Sharman. In which athletics event must participants throw a heavy metal ball attached to a steel wire from within a 7-foot circle?
Discus.
No, hammer throw. A linear economy is a system in which products are disposed of as waste. What corresponding term is used to describe an economy that reduces waste by sharing, reusing and recycling?
Minimal.
No, circular. During the Middle Ages, Ladislaus the Short, Casimir the Great and Sigismund the Old were kings of which European country?
Romania.
No, Poland. Which Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, first staged on Broadway in 1943, features the songs Oh, What a Beautiful Morning and The Farmer and the Cowman?
Oklahoma.
Yes, papillon and Schmetterling are the French and German words, respectively. For what insect?
Butterfly.
It is butterfly. So, Annabelle, you had no passes, and you've got 12 points.
Thanks. Thank you.
Next up, it's Sunder. Sunder, you start with 6 points. The score to beat as it stands is 12 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. When flavours were first added to potato crisps in the 1950s, one of the earliest flavours combined salt with what liquid often used in pickling?
Vinegar.
Yes, in the abbreviation OCD for a type of mental health condition, the letter O stands for what?
Obsessive.
Yes, what animal is Mr. Ed, the talking title character of a 1960s American television series?
Tiger.
No, horse. Which town in Australia's Northern Territory is named after Lady Todd, whose husband supervised the building of the overland telegraph line in the early 1870s?
Canberra.
No, Alice Springs, an irrational number, approximately equal to 2.718, which is often used in logarithms, is typically symbolized by which letter of the alphabet?
I.
No, E. Which novel by Charles Dickens features characters called Mr. Pecksniff, Madame Todgers and Mrs. Gamp?
David Copperfield.
No, Martin Chuzzlewit. According to a story recorded by the medieval chronicler Henry of Huntingdon, which King of England demonstrated the limit of his powers by commanding the rising tide on the shoreline to retreat?
Edward IV.
No, King Canute. Bananas grow in a cluster, usually containing up to 20 fruits, that's known by what word, also the name for a part of the body?
Bunch.
No, hand. What form of carbon, known for centuries, has a name derived from a Greek verb meaning to write?
Pass.
The virtual band Gorillaz was formed by Damon Albarn, and which comic book artist also known for creating the character Tank Girl?
Pass.
A record for the largest bird's egg from a living species was set in Sweden in 2008, when an egg weighing more than 5 pounds 11 ounces was laid by what bird?
Ostrich.
Yes, what French word meaning loosening is used in English to refer to an easing of tensions between two countries that were previously hostile to each other?
Truce.
No, détente. The islands of Bressay, Trondra and Westborough are part of which archipelago to the north of Scotland?
Orkney Isles.
No, Shetland. The actor Richard Roundtree, who died in 2023, played the private detective title character in what 1970s film franchise?
Streets of San Francisco.
No, Shaft. What musical note, known in North America, I've studied so I'll finish, what musical note, known in North America as a whole note, has a time value 4 times that of a crotchet?
A.
No, it's a semibreve. Sunder, you had 2 passes, the virtual band Gorillaz, formed by Damon Albarn, and the comic book artist Jamie Hewlett. And the form of carbon, with a name derived from the Greek verb meaning to write, that's graphite. So, Sunder, at the end of that round, you've got 9 points. Next up, it's Alex. So, Alex, you start with 8 points. The score to beat as it stands is 12 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The 3-letter word kin for a person's relatives is an anagram of the name of what liquid substance used for writing and printing?
Ink.
Yes, the Greenwich Foot Tunnel and the Woolwich Foot Tunnel are pedestrian crossings beneath which river?
Thames.
Yes, what word from the Russian for pancake is used in English for the small, thick pancakes made with buckwheat flour, often served with caviar and sour cream?
Bellini.
Yes, which British rock singer played the title role in the 1970 biographical film Ned Kelly?
Mick Jagger.
Yes, what's the usual word for a map of the Earth in the shape of a sphere, especially one fixed to a stand that can be rotated about an axis?
Globe.
Yes, what small tropical fish, often kept as a pet, is named after a British naturalist who gathered specimens of it in Trinidad in the 19th century?
Clownfish.
No, guppy. In February 2024, the actor David Harewood succeeded Sir Kenneth Branagh as president of which prestigious British drama school?
Lambda.
No, RADA. In his poem Thyrsis, which 19th century poet describes Oxford as the city of dreaming spires?
Pass.
According to the Beatles song A Day in the Life, there are 4,000 holes in which town in Lancashire?
Preston.
No, Blackburn. Which artist has 2 museums in France dedicated to his works? One in Le Cateau Cambrésis, in the far north of the country, where he was born in 1869, and another in Nice, where he lived for much of his life and died in 1954.
Matisse.
Yes, what protein present in bones, skin and connective tissues such as ligaments and tendons is the most abundant in the human body?
Collagen.
Yes, the major stock exchange known as the Nasdaq has its headquarters in which American city?
New York.
Yes, in 2023, Stephen Mulhern began hosting a revived version of what television game show featuring a mysterious banker who makes offers of cash prizes to the contestants?
Deal or no deal?
Yes, which German tennis player won her 3rd Grand Slam singles title when she won Wimbledon in 2018?
Pass.
The term blog, meaning an online journal, diary or regular record of observations usually maintained by one person for others to read, is a shortening of what longer word?
Bibliography.
No, weblog. What was the 2-word name of the tanker that ran aground off Alaska in 1989, spilling 11 million gallons of crude oil into Prince William Sound and causing huge environmental damage?
Can't remember the name. Pass.
It was the Exxon Valdez.
That's it.
You had 2 other passes. Angelique Kerber is the woman who won the Grand Slam singles title at Wimbledon in 2018. And Matthew Arnold was the writer of the poem Thyrsis, where he talks about Oxford's dreaming spires. At the end of that round, Alex, you've got 17 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have James again, please. James, you start with 9 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Alex's 17 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. Of the consonant letters used in modern English, which comes first alphabetically?
B.
Yes, which British band had UK hit singles in the 1980s entitled Kings of the Wild Frontier, Stand and Deliver, and Prince Charming?
Adam and the Ants.
Yes, the condition called ailurophobia is defined as an abnormal fear or loathing of what domesticated animals?
Cats.
Yes, Kazuo Ishiguro won the 1989 Booker Prize for which novel about a butler's recollections of his service at the fictional Darlington Hall in the 1920s and 30s?
Disgrace.
No, Remains of the Day. Miraflores, Pedro Miguel and Gatun are the names of locks on which major shipping canal?
The Suez Canal.
No, the Panama. Arthur Balfour, who served as the UK Prime Minister from 1902 to 1905, represented which political party?
Labour.
No, Conservatives. The phenomenon of seeming to talk in an unknown or unintelligible language, which can occur when a person is in a trance-like state during certain types of religious worship, is called glossolalia, but is more commonly known as speaking in what?
Tongues.
Yes, what 2020 action film and its 2023 sequel both star Chris Hemsworth as a mercenary called Tyler Rake?
The Trainwrecker.
No, Extraction. The name of what melon-flavoured liqueur is the Japanese word for green?
Passat.
No, Midori. Which British dramatist wrote the television serials Pennies from Heaven, The Singing Detective and Lipstick on Your Collar?
Fellows.
No, Dennis Potter. Abyssinia was a historical region in the east of which continent?
Africa.
Yes. Which British racing driver won the Formula One World Championship in 1962 and 68?
Nigel Havers.
No, Graham Hill. What term derived from a Latin word for a small square stone or tile refers to the fitting together of geometric shapes without any spaces between them? For instance, in flooring.
Tessellating.
Yes, tessellation. In 2015, Catherine Viner succeeded Alan Rusbridger as editor-in-chief of which British national daily newspaper?
The Spectator.
No, The Guardian. What was the surname of the Second World War American fighter pilot after whom Chicago's main international airport was renamed in 1949?
O'Hare.
Yes, what Italian word for revenge is used in English for a prolonged feud or bitter personal dispute?
Vendetta.
Yes, the name of what ericaceous plant with hundreds of species widely cultivated for their brightly... I've started, so I'll finish. Their brightly coloured flowers is derived from Greek words for rose and tree.
Rhododendron.
It is rhododendron. So, James, at the end of that round, you had no passes. You've done it. You've got 18 points. What a nail-biting finish that was. Let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 9 points is Sunda. In third place with 12 points, it's Annabelle. In second place with 17 points is Alex, which means in first place with 18 points, it's James. So he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Winning the heat of Mastermind is a dream come true. I've done quiz shows before and I felt confident in those, in my abilities, and being able to apply for Mastermind and then perform at the highest stage of quizzing is a source of immense pride for me. And then to come out on top is such a confidence boost.
In first place with 18 points, it's James.
Really do think that now I can do anything.